On this trip, we are traveling on Amtrak's Texas Eagle, starting here in Longview, Texas, on our way to Joliet, Illinois. I'm Dave, and this is my first overnight trip on an Amtrak train, and I want to see just what it's like for a senior citizen to sleep in coach. It's a round-trip ride, so at the end I'll give you my point of view on what I think of this journey. From my POV, trains are great, but there are also many fine stations, from small to mammoth, each with their own unique features. Let's take a quick look at my point of departure, Longview. Longview is in East Texas, about 130 miles directly east of Dallas-Fort Worth, and not far from the Louisiana border. It is a city of about 82,000 people. The Amtrak Texas Eagle stops here every day, 2 times a day, heading west in the morning and north in the evening. This station was originally built in 1940 because Longview had a big railroad operation then. They were taking all the oil from the oil fields around here out and agricultural products and things like that. So they got a big station and they had lots of tracks connected to it. So all those big steam trains could make their way out of the city. You could get to multiple train platforms in the old days by going down these steps to a tunnel that went under the trains to each platform. This building is a colonial revival style. It was fully restored in 2013 and 14. It used to have 2 porches outside for passengers waiting for the trains. One remains and is still in use today. There are 2 waiting rooms on each side of the middle of the station with old-fashioned wooden bench-style seats. Also in the station is a snack drink vending area and a place for kids to play. This station is part of the Longview Multimodal Transportation Center. Here you have access to Amtrak Thruway buses that serve other parts of East Texas, Houston, and Shreveport, Louisiana. There's a Greyhound bus station here, and local buses stop here as well. Our train was supposed to arrive at 6:15 p.m., but a problem with a freight train has delayed it until almost 9 p.m. Once on the train, I immediately found an empty seat by a window. As the night went on, the seat next to me stayed empty too. There's space in the lower level of our Superliner car to leave your luggage, but my small bags fit easily above my seat. So, before I conk out for the night, I thought I'd come down to one of the restrooms and brush my teeth. I'm not going to really do a tour of the restroom because there's plenty of good videos out there on YouTube that show you all the intricacies of the Amtrak trains, including the bathrooms. So, it's basically a bathroom. This one I happen to notice, though, is a little kind of beat up. Okay, back in the bathroom, and I did manage to shave without cutting my face off. That's pretty good. And clean shirt, and so, I'm pretty much ready to go for the day. The baby changing shelf folds down over the toilet and is a solid place to put your personal items if you're changing clothes, shaving, or whatever. By the way, there are other restrooms on the train with more space. This one's pretty roomy. It's actually got a dressing area, so the Bathroom is in here. Here is the dressing room area. So this is a lot nicer, and it's actually a little bit better shape too. This one is the restroom for people with disabilities, and a wheelchair will fit inside with the door closed. Now it's off to the cafe car for a microwaved breakfast. Actually, this egg, sausage, and cheese sandwich was pretty good, as was the coffee. And the dining area here is bright, roomy, and comfortable. So, the big question is, how did I sleep in the seats? Well, okay, not great. But then again, at my age, I don't sleep through the night like I used to. I wake up a lot anyway. So it wasn't that big a deal to wake up, a few times during the evening. I tell you what, though, it did really help to have these guys. Earplugs. As, I hardly could hear anything, especially that train horn. All night, so but we had a big commotion in the middle of the night that woke all of us up. They had to help the man off the train who had a medical condition of some kind, so that was a little bit of excitement. But other than that, I feel good, so I can't complain. I would not want to do this for more than one night, though. An important item to take with you on the train is a small but warm blanket, and a small pillow is good as well. At night, it is pitch black outside. However, there are lights from stations, factories, and more, and when they suddenly pop up out of the darkness, it's like a flash going off. The train has these curtains, and they block out that light very well, plus they're easy to use. So I was surprised how many people didn't close them at night. After breakfast, we still had about 6 hours left on our journey, so I passed the time with a little reading and, of course, watching the Midwest of America fly by. A microwaved mac and cheese is lunch on this second day of the trip. It was good, and I ate it at my seat because the cafe car was busy. We made it to Joliet. Actually, only about an hour and 40 minutes late, so not too bad. Somehow they did make up time. I'm not sure how they do it on the ground. I know how they do it in the air, but on the ground I'm not sure, but they did. So here we are at the Joliet Station. And there goes the Amtrak. The Joliet station is small but modern and very nice, and it's directly connected to the Metro station with trains daily to Chicago. Back at the Joliet station on my return trip to Texas, the Amtrak Texas Eagle boarded almost on time, 2:40 p.m. Here we go again. It can be a struggle to carry a bag, even a small one, up these narrow stairs. On my return trip to Longview, Texas, I'm back in coach, and I'm in one of what I think is the newer Superliners, because the seats are different. That's how you can tell. The color's different. They're comfy, we can't say they're a whole lot more comfortable than the other ones. We'll see what it's like to sleep in them a little later. Once again, the Midwest goes rolling by, with a few stops along the way. It's encouraging to see we are going faster than the cars on the expressway. Maybe that's how they make up time. My sister packed a nice assortment of snacks and water for my return trip. Thank you, Carol. It was all delicious. Speaking of food, dinner on this leg of the trip is a cold Asian noodle dish in the cafe car. It was actually very tasty. As the journey continues, most people are reading, doing work, watching shows on their pads or laptops, or just relaxing. Then we are all treated to a beautiful sunset over Illinois. As night falls, it's more reading for me and an intense board game for a couple of adventurous passengers. We're almost back to Longview, not terribly far away, so let's sum up the trip. Okay, so the seats. Well, the seats in these new Superliner cars or newer Superliner cars, I wouldn't say that they're all that much more comfortable than the old Superliners. Just my point of view, but they're comfy. They're just not like, oh my gosh, so much better comfy. They're great for sitting and really comfy for just sitting and watching the scenery go by. All right, bathrooms. As you saw, the bathrooms, were a little beat up even in the newer Superliner car, but hey, a lot of people ride these trains, and it's to be expected that they're going to suffer some real use, right? So, but still, they were clean, they worked really well, so all good. The staff. Well, the staff, I wouldn't call them overly friendly. Now, I'm in coach, so I don't really get a lot of service from the staff. They're all professional, they do their job, so they're polite. So, again, all good, but I can't heap praise on them. The scenery. Well, of course, we're not going through the Rocky Mountains, the Adirondacks, the Blue Ridge Mountains, or any kind of mountains for that matter. So, it's basically the Midwest. Now, we might have gone through some mountains in Arkansas, but you wouldn't know because it's the middle of the night and it's pitch black. So I can't really tell you about that. But the rest of the time, it's, you're seeing the farmland of America. And it was interesting to watch the combines. It's just, you don't come on this train for the scenery, and it's still just a nice ride. There's enough to look at. Right now we're in the piney woods, and it's very beautiful. So, scenery's not at the top of the list. Okay, now for the big question. What was it like to sleep in a seat? Well, I cannot recommend it. Not for someone my age. Now, maybe if you're young and short and slender, yeah, you'd probably be fine. I saw a lot of younger people riding here, and they looked like they were all curled up and sound asleep. But if you're my size and my age, it doesn't really work very well. I'd say get a roomette. If you really want a good night's sleep, get at least a roomette, if not a whole room. I know they're expensive, but if the sleep's important to you, then you better do that. So, but I wanted to try it. I'd never slept in a seat in overnight train, so now I can say I've done it. And unless I'm forced to, I won't do it again. But it's not that the seats weren't comfortable. The seats were very comfortable, but not for sleeping, just for sitting. We are back in Longview, and it's just a little past 8:30, so basically on time. That's pretty good, considering we had to wait for 2 freight trains along the way just this morning. Anyway, I would give Amtrak on this trip, I'd say an A- or even an A. Overall, a very enjoyable trip. I really enjoyed the ride, not so much sleeping in the seats, but I really enjoyed the ride. I highly recommend the train, just don't sleep in the seats. Okay, there you go. That's Dave's POV. Take care until next time.